Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Into the Night. Tonight, we talk about indie filmmaking here. My name is Paul A. Brooks. I am the founder of Into the Night Motion Pictures, and I only have a free Zoom account. So these conversations, thankfully, can never go longer than 30, 35 minutes tops. And I'm excited today to talk with someone who is a fellow Midwestern filmmaker, a fellow independent, low budget filmmaker, and a fellow found footage filmmaker. David Dawson, welcome.
How's it going, Paul? Thanks for having me, dude.
Good. Yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth. How would you sort of describe your style of filmmaking?
Yeah, just like micro budget. I call it like Slackercore.
Nice.
Basically, that's what I do. It's just about like all my stuff tends to be about like disgruntled fat Midwestern men. you know, People have like labeled it incel something, but like I disagree because like my characters are like so they don't even like women are not even like a
Part of the
thought.
picture.
Yeah, like they don't even they don't like hate women. They just it's just not part of their life. But yeah,
Right, yeah.
just like stuff about slackers and being in the Midwest and being so bored that something heinous happens. Maybe
Y-
that's kind of my style.
Yeah. Well, you got a new one out right now, sort of doing the making the rounds, the festival circuit and everything, called Zebra Hooves. And I thought we would maybe start there. One of the things that I'm jealous about in terms of sort of the way that you do things in your career is the pace that you're able to put stuff out. It seems like you have something coming out just about every year, right?
Yeah, I tried. There's been a couple of years. I mean, like during COVID, I couldn't. Obviously, there was like a year or two where, but even then, I had like a short. I try to have like at least a short every year, like a short, and then and like sometimes it seems like there's been like a cycle. Like when I started making features and like taking this more seriously, like 2016, 2015, there was like I did like three features, like right, just bah, 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 bah. And then I did a fourth one that's kind of like a culmination of what I just shit out in the first three. That's like a step above, and then like maybe a little break, and then when we met, I had just done Flesh Games, and then the year after I did Leech, and then a short called Family, and then now Zebra Hooves. And it's kind of the same cycle. Like I kind of just like
Yeah,
those like three, and then Zebra Hooves to me is like a step up and kind of like a mixture of everything
right.
that I did.
You're back here, by the way. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. We were
just
talking
so
about before we
people,
start before we started recording. You look insane.
yeah, I just don't want people to think that I'm just like posting pictures of myself in the back. I mean, Sierra's
Yeah,
back
you
there, you're hanging out. It's all good.
you with you hanging out with you, dude. It's all about Paul, dude.
I got a different hat on.
True, true.
Um, tell our audience here a little bit about Zebra Hooves and what's it about and everything. It's a Wisconsin Dells based movie, which is really exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody I just tried to get a screening from somebody and they watched the screener and they what's the movie? I forget the fucking name of the movie, but it's the one that they shot in the in Disney, I think.
Oh
Like
yeah,
with no permit. They called it like Midwestern that, which is like kind of a good comp. But yeah, it's a I think there needs to be more movies. I might because I'm like living up in the Dells right now. I'm staying with my mom. Like I literally live up here, so I'm like I got to take advantage of this. I might make more while I'm up here. Who knows? But yeah, Zebra Hooves is like my most personal movie or whatever. Like I wrote this one years ago and I just like kept putting it off because it seemed annoying to make just because it's like I keep saying like it was less fun than like Flesh Games and Leech and stuff like that, which is like true because there's like at least those are like more funny and there's like a bit involved, even though those go super dark as well. But this one is just like so close to me that I was like, I just like for a while I was just gonna be in it. Like that's how close it is to me. And I was just like, I just don't want to do it. But then I just finally decided. I was like, I've had some like mental health, like some anxiety issues flare up in the past year. And I said, fuck it. We're doing it. If I don't do it now, it's never happening. So like we're just gonna do it. So yeah, it's basically about a guy who's a hypochondriac like me. And he goes to his doctor. His doctor like tells him to take note of his symptoms so they can like talk about it later or something. So he uses a camera. so I could like use found footage in this. So he uses the camera to document symptoms, stuff that's going on. Then he starts to see things, and then there's like sort of a descent into madness, which usually that's how my things culminate generally.
I mean, I definitely picked up on the fact that it was pretty personal. I mean, the main character's name is David, and
That's one
and
of the
there's
easiest ways to pick up.
and there's some stuff in there about, losing your dad and everything. I assume that some of that is sort of based on what
Yep,
you went through and everything.
100%. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. And I mean, like literally, other than like the more fantastical or like super dark stuff, it's straight up like ripped out of my life. So I mean, like I'm from Northern Illinois. Like that's how we connected originally. We met.
Right.
Do you remember we met at the first night I think of UF in
Yeah.
2024, and I had a SIU crew neck on, and you asked me if I was from there, and I was like, no, but I went to school there. I'm from Northern Illinois. We're like, shit. And
Yeah.
then, but yeah, I'm from Northern Illinois, so like this is where we came for like vacation. There was no Disney, there was no nothing. We went to fucking Wisconsin Dells. So like this is where I came. It's like a comfort. It's just it's very bizarre living here now because it's like nostalgic, but like kind of like on the off season, it's like really weird up here. There's no one here, and yeah, but yeah, it's
It-
like super from my life, everything.
yeah. I mean, I definitely as a kid went on vacation at the Dells. I'll have to see if I can maybe bust out a few super old photos from the
Photos.
Dells. Because I went to like Robot World and all that stuff
Hell
that
yeah,
used to
yeah,
be
yeah.
there. I don't know if it's still there.
There's still, I don't
Um,
know if it's still called, but like there's still like a giant robot by like where the Tommy Bartlett. Yeah, there's like it changes so frequently that
yeah.
it's hard to keep up. But yeah,
Talk to me about the decision that you made to sort of make this film kind of a hybrid style. It's I think sort of more traditional than most of your other movies, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
was that just sort of like when you started working on the story that it just sort of organically happened like that?
It's a combination. Well, so like the first four movies that I made, first four features are not found footage. Well, one of them is like a hybrid, but they're mostly shot traditionally. So like on one hand, I just wanted to get back to that. I wanted to make something that like, it's kind of like selfish because like I saw like reviews for like Flesh Games and Leech and Family, and like people would talk about like how micro budget it was and like how rough and raw it was, and I'm like, yeah, but like, and like people talking about like, wow, Leech, it's like a screen life movie, but it's really lo-fi. It's amazing what they pulled off with. It's like it feels like a COVID movie because it's just a webcam, and I'm like, yeah, but I did it because of the story. Like I can't. So part of it was like I know how to make like something that looks good, so I'm just gonna do that. That's part of it. But also, I just like I like playing with. I had never set out to make a fully found footage movie ever. Like Flesh Games on the page was a hybrid. It had like a wraparound that was shot traditionally, but then I got into we were going to shoot that after the tape stuff, and I cut together the tape stuff, and I was like, I like this better. So
Yeah.
that same thing with Leech. There was stuff where we are going to pull back to traditionally shot. So like that was never my intent to make something fully found footage. I like doing like the mixture because, especially with something where somebody's like trying to figure out like what's real, I like to play with like which footage you're supposed to trust and like maybe switch back and forth, and like I don't know, that's very interesting to me. And it's interesting to me that like especially with like tape or something, we've like come to think that like that's the truth, but like is it, so like that's always been interesting to me. So that, and then also I just wanted it to look pretty. So
It kind of
those are
comes
the
all the
reasons.
way back to Blair Witch 2, if you've ever seen that,
I
where
love Blair Witch too.
the mixture there, and they talk about like, film lie. I can't remember what they say, film lies, video doesn't, or something like
Something like
that.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love that movie, dude. Do you like
Yeah.
it?
Oh, hell yeah.
It rules, dude. Fucking rules.
Um, yeah, I almost feel like I might have asked you at a Q&A when we were in San Francisco about sort of like how you blurred the line in Flesh Games, which is out right now. You can watch that on like Tubi and stuff now, right?
I think it's on Fossum, and
Hmm.
then it somehow got pulled into who the distributor. It somehow got on one of those like horror YouTube channels that like have a bunch of movies and stuff. So
Yeah.
you can find it on YouTube. It's called like it's like a clickbaity title. It's like they were never supposed to see this footage, or with
Yeah.
like an AI fucking like thumbnail or something. And then yeah, I think it's on Fossum. And
Yeah,
you can also
that
buy the Blu-ray from SRS if you want to, or from me.
sweet. Yeah, I felt like, Flesh Games was interesting to me because it's sort of like for a lot of it, I'm like, this is feeling like a documentary to me until it wasn't, and sort of like figuring out where you pick a spot to sort of blur that line, or if it's just you shoot a lot of it and then it sort of organically happens like that. So do you have a process for that in terms of when you're actually shooting the film?
I would say that I mean I just kind of shoot doc style for the most part in general. So yeah, it's a combination of like I have a ton of footage and I can change things in the edit sometimes if I want to, but also I just like I do write these things sort of traditionally. Like it's a traditional script, it's just short because I kind of bullet point the dialogue. I don't go into depth, but like the rest of it is traditional. It's all written out and
Wow.
flowery and stupid, but like so I kind of just know when I usually know when it's gonna go. Like I know I'm like this is basically I'm like working on something that we're gonna shoot another short at the end of July, and I'm like I have it written. I have the script written. I'm building out like a plan for the shoot, and I just know like we work in momentum so much that like it's so hard for me to go like we're gonna start with this. It's like maybe I mean like I don't know like usually we have to like usually what I'll do is like the first day of a shoot is like something super easy but like fun. So like I don't know if you ever saw Family. It's like the Juggalo short that I
I
made.
missed it. It was playing down in Missouri last year, and I
Mhm.
somehow ended up missing it. Sorry.
It's all good, but it's like that one is like kind of built on it's like two juggalos shooting a music video. So like what we did the first day was just we were just having fun shooting the music video. So I like to do that to get people in character and it's like not super strenuous. So like and then we'll like work backwards to like the more written stuff sometimes. So we'll like have fun. I know I like to get a bunch of stuff in the can that I know is like usable, but like I don't exactly know how or why yet, and then we like work backwards to the stuff that I know I absolutely need. So that's usually kind of the process. I don't know, it's interesting because like I'm pitching a movie right now, like a zombie movie right now where I will need money for the first time basically ever in my entire life, and I want to shoot it the same way that I normally shoot stuff, but I have to like come up with a way to like explain to people how I'm doing things and that there will be a movie at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to engineer that style of filmmaking into like money, you know?
it's one of the hardest parts for me is figuring out how to budget the time that I have for the shoot and make sure that we get everything that we need. And it was a nightmare on Hunting for the Hag. I mean,
Was it?
we were shooting and literally someone would say, Paul, we got to stop. I'm like, why? And I'd look over and the sun would be coming up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's, yeah, figuring out how to navigate that with people who are going to be in the movie, budgeting your time and all that is challenging.
Yeah, it's I don't know how it's gonna if I end up getting money for this movie, I don't know how it's gonna work. I mean, we're gonna because usually how we shoot is like even for a feature, we usually shoot for like a weekend, like a week, like a Friday through Sunday morning, and then that's like 80% of it usually. And then we go, and then I like start to edit, and I go, okay, we're gonna need this, this, and this, and then we'll do like another weekend and pick up stuff. That's like been the process for a lot of the movies, but like I can't really do that if I'm like getting money from someone. You know,
Yeah,
I need to like say, okay, from this date to this date, we're shooting the movie. I know you can. I mean, I can do pickups and stuff, but like, I don't know if they would like if I was like, okay, in June we're gonna shoot half the movie, and then in August we're gonna like,
kind of
yeah,
depends on your cast too, whether or not they
true.
have availability for the whole time. Yeah,
That
I've
is
kind of been on both
literally
sides of that.
I've been lucky because like a lot of times I can't. I mean, I've brought in like a few in Zebra Who's I brought in like one new person acting, but like usually it's like these are like guys that I've known for 20 plus years. So like, but it's still a night like I get so pissed off. Like we have like group chats like trying to plan. I'm like, okay, what dates in July and August are you not available? And then they'll give me the dates, and then I'm like, okay, we're shooting on not one of those dates, and they're like, I can't. And it's like, oh my god, like I can't, dude. It's my least favorite. I would love it if I could get to the point where someone does that for
Yeah, I
me.
mean, it's, like producing and really even directing, if you have to handle that side of things sometimes, like sometimes 75% of the job is just harassing people and like
It literally
bugging
is.
people.
And even now with movie, like I have movie like Leech, I'm like figuring out distribution for, and I know you know all about the nightmares of distribution. I'm like getting agreements signed by actors and music, and I'm like every day it seems like I'm like messaging people, emailing people. I'm like, did you send me the? Can you send me the thing? Can I? And I have to give it back, and that somebody did something wrong, and I got to do it all over again. It's like
Nobody
I
has a
love
lot of attention to detail anymore.
no, I love making movies, but like these are the things that like I wasn't like in film school, and I was like, man, I can't wait to be sending emails trying to track down an agreement for a month.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like there's a lot of that, and then every now and then you get to do a fun Q&A or something like this,
right?
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to talk a little bit about Leach and your lead actor in that film and in Zebra Hooves. Jordan, remind me of his name.
Acosta, Jordan Acosta.
Jordan Acosta. Um, what went into your decision-making process to I guess have him be the lead in Zebra Hooves as opposed to you? Was it sort of like the experience working with him on Leach? You wanted to bring him back for something else?
Yeah, it kind of. I mean, it kind of goes back to like we had like I've known Jordan, like I said, for I mean, literally, I met him when I was a freshman in high school, and he was a junior, I think. So like 20 plus years, I don't know, however long it's been, but like I've known him a majority of my life, and we were in bands together. He was the front. He's like always he just like is a bullshitter, and he like knows how to perform, and he knows how to he has no when it comes to that he has zero anxiety when it comes to like performing. Like he has anxiety about other shit, but like not that like it just doesn't even cross his fucking mind. Like it's
Right.
crazy to me. We're completely opposite when it comes to that. So like I had the first I wanted him to be in one of my earlier movies called Bone Barrel, and he just couldn't because he was having a kid, and like I kind of wrote the character after him. So like somebody's just playing him basically in that movie. So then when we got to Flesh Games, I was like, all right, finally we'll get you in a movie. And I thought he was great in Flesh Games, but he was not like the lead. And then when I was writing Leech, I was like, Mike is going to be so good as the Dark Lord of Lowe's Park. He's going to be so good, and I think he would be. But like Jordan has this like swagger, this like unearned confidence and swagger that I thought the character needed. I was like, no, I think Jordan has. I think we're gonna try Jordan. And also at the time, he was like a very heavy drinker, and that was like method. He was drinking a lot
Uh,
in real life. So that just worked out perfectly. And I honestly was nervous about having him do zebra hooves because, like I said, Leech and like Flesh Games, while they're dark and like sort of serious and still personal to me, there's like a bit that he can like glom onto and be like, haha, I'm being a character. Like this is just like dropping all of that kind of and just like kind of being me or like a version of me or yourself, honestly. So I was nervous about it, but I think he fucking knocked it out of the park. And I think he's gonna, I mean, for the foreseeable future, he's gonna be in my toolbox of actors because he's the fucking best, dude.
I was I felt bad. I'm like, man, this guy's going through it.
Yeah, dude.
So good job,
No, that's
Jordan.
good. That's good.
I want to talk about, one of the reasons that we're doing the show today is that you're sort of going on tour with the movie and hitting up some cool spots all kind of all over the place. Can you talk a little bit about some of the places that, whatever you want to say about where the movie's going to be, do some plugs and whatnot, and talk about sort of your process for finding venues, that will
Yeah.
accept a low budget indie film like this?
Yeah. I kind of took inspiration from like I have friends like my friend Bruce Longo. He does Bloodsick Productions. He like books his own tours for every movie, and I've like noticed this. Like I'm like sort of old. It's weird. I like came up on the cusp of like I when I went to film school, it was like we were just switching to like DSLR. Like DSLRs were just becoming available. So like it became so much easier to make a movie at that
Yeah.
point. Like before it was tape, before that film. Like when I was in film school at SIU, we had to make a short on 16 millimeter, which at the time I was like, ugh. But now I would like give my left arm to be able to.
Yeah.
I want to make a feature on 16 so bad, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But like so yeah, like back then it seemed like the way was film festivals, somebody buys your movie, rinse and repeat. And it's like feels like that's changing sort of. Like film festivals are like less important, or they're like oversaturated 100, like, and there's too many of them, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't have the money to, like, when I was first submitting to film festivals, like a cheap film festival was like 15 to $25, and now the cheap festivals are like 45 to like 60 or something, and it's
Right.
like, yo, I'm spending more than my like literally more than my budget to submit to festivals.
Yeah.
So every time I make a movie, I go, no more. Because like I have friends that don't submit to film festivals at all. They just like have friends that have festivals and then they book their own screenings around it. So every time I make a movie, I go, no more. And then I end up submitting to festivals and like, I'll get into whatever. I'll get into a handful. This time we got into No Budge, which is not a traditional film festival, but I'm really excited about that because I love No Budge. So that's where Zebra will live after the tour. But yeah, so the past couple of years, I've just been sprinkling in, trying to like, I'll play a film festival every couple months while I'm touring it. And I'll try to like get my own screening somewhere at like a micro cinema or like just anywhere. And it worked a little bit for Flesh Games. It worked a little bit better with Leech. And then for Zebra Hooves, it's been working like way better than the past two. So I don't know if that is a function of like people know about me a little bit more, or I honestly think that like especially indie theaters like are willing to work with indie filmmakers now, because there's like, while there's more movies than ever being made, it seems like there's less Hollywood movies like taking up screens.
Yeah.
So
It
I
seems like
think,
it's getting more popular.
yeah, I think a lot of indie filmmakers are like doing their own road show or touring their movie, because like when I first started to do your own screening, you'd have to four wall, and it's like I can't fucking afford to buy every ticket in the theater and then hope
Yeah.
that I make anything back. But now, I mean, some places are still like that. You still have to rent them, whatever. But like some places are just like, yeah, we have this day, it's open, whatever. Or we have, it's a theater with a normal size theater with a micro cinema attached. They'll throw you in there. Like it's just been a little bit easier every time. And I think that that is going to be the way for a while, at least. I think like we're going to go back to streaming is never going to go away, but like I think it's getting less, especially for indie filmmakers. I mean, how much money have you made off of streaming? I mean, it's
Yeah. It's not great.
it's not great. It's not great, and yeah, I mean, it's not even like that's not even my whatever. I still have a job. I don't care. Like whatever. I just want the movie to get out,
Right.
and I want people to see it. And it seems like the best way is to literally show up to a town now. But the thing that's hard about it is because like I come from being in bands and stuff, so it's sort of the same as touring with a band, but what I've noticed is that music can be a passive experience. Like somebody will just go to a show sometimes just to
Sure.
go. But like movies are kind of not like that. Like rarely does somebody go, oh, cool, indie movie, never heard of this guy. I'm just going to go. No friends are going. I'll just go. Like
Right.
it's less likely. But yeah, it's a cool way to do it. And yeah, I love film festivals. Obviously, we met at a film festival. UF is one of the best film festivals I've ever been to. I mean,
Yep.
it's so cool. But like a lot, I mean, it's impossible to submit because it's so much money, and you're likely not going to get in unless you're a certain level. And it's becoming like less and less a part of indie filmmaking. And like even Fantastic Fest, like last year, my girlfriend's a critic and she went to Fantastic Fest, and like half of the movies it seemed like were released wide like 2 weeks after that. And it's like, to me, that's not the point of a film. Like what is the point of a film
It's
festival?
almost like just to have the laurels go on the trailer and that's it,
Right,
you know?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's completely changed. It's been interesting since when I started till now. Like it's completely different.
Well, if you have like a list or something with the p places, I can go ahead and edit that and put it on the screen right now so that people
Okay.
can see where the movie is playing.
Hell
And
yeah.
if it's obviously if it's in your area, definitely go check it out because like I said, I'm jealous that you're doing it, and I think it's a super cool way to get the word out about the movie. And it's fun to play different venues and travel and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the funnest part about making movies. It's like that's what sucks about like the festival, because like festivals to me are the funnest part. And it's just like it's hard to like even be able to afford to. So, this is like a good comp. It seems like
Right.
it's a good way to get out there and like have fun with the movie and show it to people.
Yeah. We have a segment on this show we do called Indie Inspo, and we're going to do that right now. All right, David, tell me about a movie that has sort of inspired you, either in your filmmaking career or just something that really struck you in the right way. What do you got for us?
This is an interesting question because like I mostly watch indie movies, so it's like everything. But
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on your like actual definite. I mean, the first movie that made me like fall in love with movies was the original Halloween, 1978, and
sure.
that was an indie movie
Yeah.
then. So like that's like I mean, my mom loved that movie, so like I remember hearing the music and being terrified when I was like 5. Like that like started movies for me, and then stuff like Clerks. And it's interesting because like I've had this on my mind because I'm building a pitch deck for this zombie movie. So like this has been on my mind. So like Clerks comes in when I'm a little bit older and I'm like, shit, like this is so mundane, but it's like it feels right to me. And like I don't know. And then I would say the big one, if I had to pick one, is like the Puffy Chair from 2005 by the Duplass brothers. That's like I was like in college when I saw that. I was about to like go into film school and stuff, and I was like kind of at that point I was like, it's impossible for anyone that's not rich to make a movie. I was like, it's not possible. We can't do it. We'll never do it. And then I saw Puffy Chair and I was like, oh. And even though, I mean, you hear the backstory and that actually had a bigger budget than you would imagine, but still, like the look of it, it was shot on like a DVX 100 or whatever. Like it was shot on like a DV camera that like skateboarders use for skate videos and stuff. And like it has like a doc look, and it's like mostly improv, and it's like still very effective. And I loved that movie when I first saw it. And I think, I mean, I every time I watch it, I use that movie as like a reset to be like, that's what I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's one of the biggest ones for me.
I think it's probably tough for some younger people who, have grown up with iPhones to really understand what it was like back in the day
Right,
when you're sort of like toying with an idea and you're like, but we don't have the money to shoot. I mean, we can shoot it on this shitty SD video camera
right,
and spend, a year making it and it's going to look like shit.
right.
And the vibe has totally shifted now where obviously a lot of found footage that's still very popular and with like analog horror and everything. But back then it was like it sucked that was the only option
That was
because
it.
you
Yeah,
wanted to shoot on film.
right. It's cool to like now be like, I can't. It's very funny. It's like full circle because I remember being in film school, having like drunken conversations with friends who I'm still collaborating with now. We're like, we need to make a fucking movie, dude. And I'm like, we should just take my dad's old Hayek camera and make it. And we're just like, it'll look like dog shit though. Cut to, I used that exact camera on Flesh Games so it's just, it's full circle.
It's
Some of the
strange
like
too because
handheld.
yeah, it's weird where we're at right now too because I watched an interview with Mark Duplass, I don't know, a couple weeks ago where he was at a festival or something and he was talking about sort of how things have changed or people were asking him for advice and now he's like I don't know.
I think I've seen that because he did like a decade ago. He did that big South by like presentation where it got really popular. He was like, "The cavalry's not coming." That was his big
Right.
thing. And then cut to now, he's like, if you really need to make movies, you should do it. But if
That's the
not,
exact
probably
interview.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really funny, dude.
It's really depressing. So I don't, like I've been thinking about this a lot lately and sort of like trying to figure out, and I think that you and me are probably similar where it's like I love doing this and even though I know that there's a very good chance that I might never be able to make a living full time doing this,
Yeah,
I love the entire process. And it's like if you love that and you're excited to keep doing it, then keep doing it, and
yeah,
and something might catch fire, something might not catch fire, but it's almost like you have to put aside the financial elements of it in
100%.
terms of whether or not that's a driving factor these days.
100%. I'm a little bit different because I honestly don't love product. Like I don't love being on set. That's not
Mm,
my favorite. I start to love it after like maybe the first couple hours of the first day, but like I have so much. I'm like having panic attacks beforehand. I'm like I just I it. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to like re-fall in love with that. I'm trying to like fall in love with the whole process,
yeah.
and then just so that like hey we're having fun like it whatever dude. I put too much pressure on myself, and it's like if this doesn't work out it's fine, like we're just making stuff, and it's just like I love every other aspect of it, and I do love filmmaking. I love movies overall, but it's also like what else are we going to do, Paul?
I
I mean,
know.
especially now, like it's not like we're 20. Like what else? I mean, this is what we do. You know, this is what we fucking
100%.
do. What are we going to do? Just sit home and not do anything? I mean, we can do that, but like what's the point?
It's hard for
Even
me to get my mind wrapped around what the alternative would even be.
exactly, exactly. And it's just like, yeah, maybe nothing catches, maybe nothing, you don't make it, you know, like end up making a living or something, but like at least, you know, when we're old as fuck, we can look back and like have a body of work. Like that's something, you know, and that's like something that most people don't have. So it's like, you know, fuck it. Just
Right.
if you have to make movies, you're gonna make movies, and that's I think that's kind of what Mark Duplass was saying. He was like, if you have to, do it for sure, but if you don't, and I kind of agree. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend, like I have like younger cousins that like they'll get into movies, or when I was in bands they're like, oh they really want to play drum, and I'm like, yeah, if you're gonna do it you're gonna do it, but like I don't recommend this life for anyone. Dude, I'm poor as fuck, I have nothing, you know, it's stressful,
And
but if
I
you got to
think
do it you
that
got to do it.
right, and I think it does sort of sort itself out. I mean, there's definitely plenty of people who I've worked with in the past who are not doing this anymore, because
Yeah,
they just don't
exactly.
want to.
Right, right. It's too much, and it's very funny looking back. Even going to like film school. Did you go to film school? I forget.
No.
No, but even going to film school, I mean, I think 1% of the people that I went to film school with are still working or like just doing making stuff for fun. It's just it's very interesting. Like a lot of people went to film school just to go to school, I guess, you know, and they
Yeah,
picked
I
film.
it
And
never, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not spending money on this. I'm not going to make any money on it. Why would I
yeah,
spend
yeah.
money on it?
I went to SIU, so it was like a smaller program that did not like I'm in debt now from making movies, but I'm not in debt from that. I paid that off pretty quickly. So like it worked out. I loved film school. I had a good time, and I have some connections that I wouldn't have made otherwise. But like you don't need to go to film school. But yeah, it's just interesting that like how many people have stopped.
Yeah. But yeah, it does seem like plenty of people went to film school, had a positive experience. It's just whatever works best for you. I mean,
Exactly.
plenty of filmmakers went, plenty of filmmakers didn't. So,
Well, I just saw there was also a lot of people that like didn't utilize their time correctly, and like you know I partied in college as well, but like I also used it as like I can have gear, and like I made stuff while I was in college. So it was kind of like a okay, I graduated high school and I don't want to get a job yet, so like I was like I can just make stuff for
yeah.
this couple of years, so fuck it.
Yeah. We got a couple minutes left here, so let's talk about kind of plug in some stuff. Is there anything that you want to mention that is, streaming right now, or just plugging your socials or anything like that?
Yeah, you can follow me at Robocop77. That's where I do most of my movie updates and stuff. So I have a lot of movies that I've made. Firework is the first feature that you can buy that Blu-ray from Bizarre Theater Releasing or from me. It's also on Tubi and Amazon, I think, and it might just be on my YouTube as well. Second movie, Do Not Disturb, is also on that Blu-ray with Firework. It's like because it's like only like 45 minutes long, so I just threw it on as like an extra. That is also streaming places. You can watch that. Third movie, Bone Barrel, that's on Troma now, which is funny because it's not like that at all. It's like a dramedy, like mumblecore with like a little darkness, but like there's no gore or any. I mean, it's not Troma. It's funny that it's on there. It's on YouTube. That will have a Blu-ray release soon, so updates on that. My fourth movie, The Long Weekend, that's you can buy that. That's fully self released. You can buy Blu-rays from me. I have VHS tapes. That's on Tubi, and you know it's all over the place. You can watch that. People like that one a lot. I love it too. That's my least genre movie. And then Flesh Games, you can buy that from SRS Cinema, or you can buy it from me. It's also on YouTube and Fossum. Family is just on my YouTube. There's also physical copies with like extras. If you want to buy that, hit me up. Leech, I'm working on distribution right now. I'm really hoping it will be streaming extremely soon because that premiered like fucking almost 2 years ago at this point, and it's like, please
I'm
God,
going
I
through the
just
same thing
I
right
know
now.
I everybody is like, it's like that. I just want it out so bad. So I'm hoping I'll have news on that soon. I do have a couple VHS tapes of it, but that's it right now. Hopefully streaming soon. What else? That's it. Okay, and then Zebra Hooves, we're on tour now. Just check my Instagram. You can find dates. We're going to be in Pennsylvania in like a week. Then we're doing like a bunch of Missouri dates, and then a couple months I'm trying to get other dates, and then I'm gonna be in Missouri again, and then like fucking we're doing that Illinois horror
Oh
festival,
yeah.
a bunch of some stuff in October that I'm looking to plug right now. And that once the tour's over, that'll be on No Budge for streaming. I don't know what the physical is going to look like, but that'll be on No Budge. So that's what I got going on. Sorry to fucking, that's a lot of shit, but
It is, but I mean
check
that's why I'm
check it all
jealous
out.
because you already have such a big body of work. It's great.
Yeah, dude.
Um, well, best of luck with the tour and everything moving forward. Like I said, I'm jealous. I hope you have a great time with it.
Oh yeah. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time on Into the Night tonight.